Je vous remercie for allowing me I want to be able to continue in French, but I thought I needed to start with that one. First of all, I'm thankful for President providing this opportunity for me and my delegation and the Rwandans to be able to be here to express our solidarity and also a sense of strong partnership that exists anyway between our two countries, but also in this context of giving you, President, and the people of DRC, and particularly of Goma, our condolences for those who lost their lives during the recent volcanic eruption, and those who also stand with those who were displaced or affected in any other way by the volcanic eruption. I also want to thank the President for allowing this closeness of our people that already exists, in fact, and has existed for many years, to be given a new impetus, a new force to take place. So that's really why I'm here. That's why I'm happy to be here. And I also thank the President, President Felix Tshisekedi of this great country, for having paid us a visit yesterday. And both yesterday and today, we have had a good opportunity to have broad and productive exchanges that will benefit our two countries. And as we saw, we signed a number of agreements. I believe this is just the beginning. There are many areas that we are going to come to in which we can cooperate to build a solid relationship, but also basis for cooperation between our two countries. So thank you very much. We see today, first, President Tshisekedi put a sense of urgency to the problem of security and instability that have been going on for many years. The sense of urgency is to be seen in, therefore, that action which he referred to of having a state of emergency in the region that has been affected, not only just recently, but for a long time in the past. A state of emergency really in itself is a message that this is a serious matter that has to be dealt with. And I think he did right to do that. So you're also right that it is not just about declaring a sense of emergency. It has to be followed by a number of actions that therefore are aimed at dealing with the problem itself. I will come to that. But before I do, let me say that the lack of security and peace and the instability that have characterized either this part of DRC or our own country, Rwanda, in its history, and continuing to grapple with making sure that we come to create stability in our own country, and you cannot have stability in your own country if a neighboring country, a brotherly country, doesn't have stability. But both of us agree, President Tshisekedi and myself, that lack of security and peace and instability cannot be things that are going to be permanent in our both of our countries. Neither should this be a situation that we come to get used to and live with as a normal way of living our lives. So something must be done. And it starts with what the President decided, and also what is going to be the follow-on actions that I am sure have already started of actually dealing with the root causes of this instability, dealing with the groups that cause instability in this region. And it is going to be much better if, therefore, all of us work together. Rwanda can make its own contribution as of the situation itself, but also what will be decided by the Democratic Republic of Congo within its sovereign rights. It works with people from anywhere, neighbors and beyond, to deal with whatever problems that affect us. So this cooperation we are emphasizing, the two leaders, goes in that direction. It's saying what can you give, what can you take in this area of cooperation, so that ultimately we have our people, both Congolese and Rwandese, working together, working towards fighting the common challenges, our enemies, so that we really move towards development that we are. So Rwanda is ready to provide or to associate ourselves with DRC in whatever form within our means towards this challenge. Therefore, these are things we don't necessarily discuss publicly in the media until we have really worked on them and planned. And I'm only talking about the readiness, first of all, that is there for the two countries to cooperate. So this readiness on our part to play our part, whichever way we have to address the problem. If it is anything originating from Rwanda, I'm happy to and ready to solicit the support of DRC and the President to make the contribution that can enable us to address any problem. So it is both ways, it is two ways. And we have the means, we have the knowledge about our problems, we have the will to cooperate. I don't see how we can fail. And we don't want to fail our people. The people of DRC or the people of Rwanda, as the President said, have waited for too long to have some of these challenges addressed. So we are up to the job and we will do our part. Thank you, President, and let me just take off from where you ended. It's not enough just for having or to have good leaders. President Tshisekedi and myself ready to do our part and lead our countries in the right direction. That happens also on the basis of our own people. I think the ordinary people, the people of DRC or Rwanda, should never look at themselves as just bystanders who are affected by one thing or another and they follow. No, they are actually participants. And as we speak today, I hope the people of Rwanda and the people of DRC are also listening and trying to identify their role in making sure that moving in this direction that is meaningful to them actually happens by being good participants. I mean, so that quickly leads me to the question that was directly put to me, which was about non-tariff barriers and so on and so forth. Well, I started by saying, or talking about the formal, informal sector. What we want to see and what we would wish to see is increasing, expanding formal sector. While that is the case, you don't go against the informal sector. What you do, what we need to do, is to help the informal sector move and formalize their businesses. We need to work with them, support them, and so that we see more of the formal sector in operation than the informal sector. That is possible. But it is possible, again, dependent on many things that need to happen, not only in terms of the good leaders at different levels, but also the ordinary people who are affected by this, but who should also participate in this. And the non-tariff barriers are things that through cooperation, through this interaction and being responsible, even as ordinary citizens, we can also address. We can put good laws in place, we can put the right infrastructure in place, we can, but at the same time, the practice is where things maybe go wrong. And therefore, through working together and nudging each other, pushing each other, even at different levels, so that people try to do what is right, I think we are the ones to succeed. This is different from where populations of either side might start. When you look at the other side, if you are a person and look at another person, and the only thing you see is a problem or a danger to you, instead of saying there is something good in that person, we can work together, then it becomes problematic. Even if you have good laws or anything, but if you have bad politics or bad attitude of seeing everything negatively, or then there is a problem. So the moment we lower this level of where we are, I think the President alluded to it in his earlier remarks, which was accurate. We can't keep this mistrust going on. Because it feeds this insecurity, it feeds all kinds of bad things, and we cannot succeed even in these socio-economic efforts we are trying to put in place to address our problems. So non-tariff barriers, in fact, again, the President mentioned it. One way of addressing it is getting rid of these security problems, looking at accountability levels, especially of leaders, and then allowing people to cooperate, to work together, do business. And the president, having mentioned, for example, and explained the need to be together in the East African community, it helps. Why should indeed a trader in Goma, find it very expensive or very difficult to access certain things that are accessed in the neighboring country because they are a member of an organization and DRC is not? I mean, it's really, in itself, doesn't bear logic. So these are things we need to address holistically. There are many things and different layers through which we have to. But once there is good politics, everything will happen. Politics of caring for each other, of trusting each other. And where there are wrong things, then we get together and address them and say, no, this is not good for anyone. It's not good for me. It's not good for you.